This is the program Taste Kazakhstan, and I'm Aygiri Musagazhinova. Welcome to the Sharin Canyon. The natural monument stretches for more than 150 kilometers along the Sharin River. Its formation started 25 million years ago. People often find remains of ancient animals, such as rhinoceroses, mastodons, and hyenas here. The most famous section is the 3-kilometer-long Castle Valley. This place is often compared to the Grand Canyon in the US. A 200-kilometer ride from Almaty is nothing if you can enjoy this view. Now we will prepare two dishes: Telshik Quyrdaq, lamb stew, and a dessert, Zhidek Qurt, berry Qurt. Let's start cooking the main dish, Telshik Quyrdaq. This dish was usually cooked from the rib meat of a young lamb. The meat was especially prepped for later use by drying and storing it in flour. By the way, storing meat in flour is a tradition, which also involves a special technology. This process uses natural fermentation of meat. Storing in flour was useful and also necessary at those times. Lamb stew, Telshik Quyrdaq, was considered a delicious delicacy because the meat was specially prepped since summer, stored throughout all winter, and cooked only in spring. Older women usually used to cook this dish for their children and grandchildren at a special gathering in spring. They put a lot of love into cooking, since it was a special occasion. All the family members were united at one table. For Telshik Quyrdaq, we're going to need the following ingredients: lamb rib meat, fermented dairy drink made from mare milk, hummus, flour, milk, and a bit of sunflower oil. We start by cutting the meat into equal pieces. These bones are actually what makes all the difference. For Kazakhs, spring period was always considered special. A whole family usually gathered in the ancestral home, and grandmothers were eager to indulge their grandchildren by cooking this dish. We need to add salt immediately. The meat soaked in hummus gets less fat, but softer and juicier. The Kazakhs were quite thrifty and used everything in everyday life. Variety meats and byproducts were used in cooking, while wool was skillfully implemented in arts and crafts, clothing, and many other things. Children used asık, tailless bones left from sheep, to play a very interesting traditional game with the same name. The rules are simple. Players use one bone, asık, to knock out other asıks from the field. The focus is on the position of the bone. This game was included in the list of intangible cultural heritage of UNESCO. The technology is passed on from generation to generation. In different regions, this game is played in different ways, but most importantly, it develops dexterity and coordination. The meat is already marinated. Let's turn on the stove. Pour some oil into the pan, just a tiny amount. Add the meat and start frying.
Маринованное.
Let's also add some flour and stir thoroughly. We leave this mix to stew until the meat is ready.
И тушим до готовности.
In the meantime, we will prepare the potatoes. You don't need many, just 2 or 3 potatoes will be enough for this dish. Cut it into even pieces. Some families prefer cooking Telshik Quyrdaq without potatoes, while others usually add it. It's a matter of taste. I don't think we will ruin anything by adding a few. Spread the potato pieces evenly on top of the meat. Add salt and pepper. Now let it all stew for 20-30 minutes. While our delicious Telshik Quyrdaq is on the way, I will whip up a very tasty and healthy dessert called Zhidek Qurt, which translates as berry Qurt. And Qurt, as we've mentioned in previous episodes, is dried salty, ball-shaped cheese. Berry Qurt was mainly prepared in the northern regions of Kazakhstan. In general, Kazakh cuisine has up to 10 kinds of different Qurts. For example, berry Qurt is a dessert. Some other types are added to main dishes. Kazakhs used to prep jarma Qurt in advance to cook it in spring. It is the fattest Qurt, made from either goat or sheep milk. The ingredients of berry Qurt are homemade fresh cottage cheese and dried raspberries. Mix the cottage cheese and make sure that it doesn't become sour. This dish is children's favorite treat. It can be served in both fresh and dried form. Kazakhs used to dry berry Qurt in a natural manner, on the sun. We've dried the raspberries in advance. This dessert is full of vitamins and is great for children since it is enriched with natural calcium. It doesn't require any additional sweetness, so we never add sugar. The berries provide natural sweet flavor and amazing smell. Speaking of children, I want to suggest you one more way to entertain them. For example, the game of tenge alu, which means to pick up a coin. Since ancient times, this game was considered to be for adults. Young men on horses were racing against each other and quickly picking up pouches with coins, thus demonstrating their dexterity. Now, children can play this game too. They race against each other to collect pouches with gifts, demonstrating their courage and agility. But of course, children do not play this game on horseback, they just run. Our lamb stew, Telshik Quyrdaq, is now ready. Let's plate it nicely. The dish turned out creamy, juicy, and aromatic.
Блюдо Telshik Quyrdaq готово.
In the past, if children could not come home for any reason, grandmothers used to send them some uncooked Telshik Quyrdaq. It was traditionally called sabaga, which in Kazakh means a gift. For this purpose, the meat was dried, smoked a little, and placed in horse or beef belly. This way, the dish could be stored for up to 1 or even 2 years. Grandmothers either sent it as a gift to children, or it would be left at home, waiting for the children to return and enjoy it. The belly was usually tied up tightly from both ends to keep out the air and hung somewhere around the house. Sometimes Zhidek Qurt was also included in the gift package. The Kazakhs used to dry it and put it in white cotton bags for storing or transportation. Dear friends, I hope these recipes will prove themselves to be useful. No doubt, your families will love them. Have a nice meal. The Sharin Canyon is famous not only for its views, but also for its legends. According to them, lonely travelers and sometimes entire caravans disappeared here. People blamed the witches, claiming that they dwelled on these red rocks and lured people with their eerie and enchanting songs. Of course, none of this is true. However, it is the mystical flair that gives this place a special atmosphere. I'm Aygiri Musagazhinova, and see you soon on Silkway TV.